and welcome to another video here on Cruiseandcoasters. I'm Jeff, and we have made it to our 18th theme park out of 22 parks on our USA theme park road trip tour. And today we are coming to you from Six Flags St. Louis, of course, outside of St. Louis, Missouri. And it looks like it's gonna be an absolute beautiful day compared to the last 5 days where we've had record-breaking heat. It's upper 70s to lower 80s. The sun is out, the blue skies are here, and it's been 12 years since my last visit to Six Flags St. Louis, and very excited to see how the park has transformed. Sadly, it looks like the one new roller coaster credit, Rookie Racer, that I could have gotten is going to be closed for the day. So unfortunately, it doesn't sound like we're getting on that, but still really excited to check out the park for the first time in a really long time. So let's head on in to Six Flags St. Louis. Okay, I see you, Universal Studios St. Louis. Studio backlot, interesting. Of course, being a Six Flags park, this park does have a Batman the Ride clone, which is the B&M invert. And that is going to be our first ride of the day, is Batman. That might have been the best Batman clone version of this ride that I've ever been on. It was incredibly smooth, super forceful. I love the vertical loops and the positive G's that you get at the bottom of them. The flat spins were fantastic and whippy, especially as you got pulled through them. We rode in the back row, and that was absolutely fantastic. And the station also had themed lighting. There was a Batman suit in there. The station was actually themed, very well kept. My only complaint is give this thing a better paint job, because it really should stand out, because it actually rode fantastic. This was, I'm just kind of blown away, because I've done so many of these Batman clones. I'm just so impressed with how this one rode. That was a great first ride here at Six Flags St. Louis. The park is open some interesting hours today. They're only open 11 a.m. till 7 p.m. So we decided after our first ride to grab some lunch, and I went to Chopsticks and got some chow mein and orange chicken. So it looks not entirely super appetizing, but it'll do. You guys know I always will give you a fully honest and transparent review. Never take my criticism for being unappreciative. I just like to give you guys information so you know what to expect. That was some of the worst, not just Chinese food, some of the worst theme park food I think I've ever had in my life. The orange chicken actually had the texture of applesauce. The chow mein had certainly a flavor. I don't know what the flavor was they were going for. That was horrific. Never going to Chopsticks ever again. That was not the vibe. Looks like Spinsanity will also be closed all day today. It does looking around, it does look like there's quite a number of closed attractions, and it's the heat of summer, so I'm really surprised that this is a water splash battle, and it seems to also be closed for the day, which is unfortunate. Finished up All American Thunder. That's the park's GCI wooden coaster here, and it was actually really, really good. This was better. I know I made a controversial statement at Valley Fair. I did not love Renegade, but I thought this was running way better, way smoother than Renegade. Really good pops of airtime, some really good lateral force in it as well. It wasn't super smooth, but with a wooden coaster, I don't want it to be super glass smooth. I want there to be like a little rumble, a little rattle to it to let me know that I am riding a wooden coaster. But this one was very re-rideable, very fun, and smooth for a wooden coaster. So, All American Thunder, you're a win in my book. I did 2 rides back to back on Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast, once in the front row and once in the back row, and I think I am actually in love. This thing was so much fun. Let's talk about the front row. So the front row was amazing. So it is backwards, so the front row is actually like the back, but you're looking out in front of the train, if that makes any sense. And I absolutely loved it, especially going up the reverse spike. There are some magnets that catch you and push you up the rest of the spike, and that feeling while looking straight down at the ground is absolutely insane and so much fun. The back row was unhinged because you just get flung into that top hat and you can feel all of the forces in it, which is absolutely incredible. And then being all the way at the top of the spike was absolutely phenomenal as well. Really, really loved Mr. Freeze Reverse Blast. We did do this coaster at Six Flags Over Texas in Dallas, and it was facing forwards. And I'm really surprised by flipping the trains around how much different of an experience it feels like, and I much prefer it facing backwards. It does need a paint job though. This whole park needs like a little like Project Sparkle action with some fresh paint. This is our first, maybe second Six Flags ism of the day, is that they've had to close their new attraction from last year, Rookie Racer, because they're working on constructing their new for 2024 ride, the Joker, which is a Frisbee attraction, but it's literally end of July. But you can see they ripped up all of the pavement up there that leads to Rookie Racer, which means I don't think it's gonna be open for a while, but really wish they would do this, you know, maybe in the off season when the park's not open, or earlier in the season so that the rides could be open when they're advertised. That'd be great. I subjected myself to 2 rides on the Boss at Six Flags St. Louis so that you wouldn't have to. That had to have been the worst roller coaster of the entire trip. That entire ride, first of all, I don't understand how the gravity on it works, because there are moments where the next hills that you're about to go on look taller than the hill that you're currently on, if that makes sense. It's just a very, very bizarre layout. The layout itself would actually lend itself to be an amazing and incredible ride if they could smooth this thing out. I would actually really love to see them put like the RMC steel track on it, but keep the layout intact, because I think it's a fantastic coaster through the woods. I don't think you need to like actually RMC it, but give the ride a bit of smoothness, a bit of appeal. I think it would be really, really enjoyable. But I really do hope they put some money and investment into this coaster, because there's a lot of potential there. Just, it's running absolutely horribly today.
Make sure to step in or step back, because you don't want to get whacked up, so you get some closing control. Everybody sure we're running now.
Ouch, just got off of Scream and Eagle, and the only thing that was screaming was me in pain for that ride to actually end. That was pretty horrific. So both the Boss and Scream and Eagle, I think, need some significant track work. Obviously, I love a good wooden coaster. I love a good rattle when it comes to a wooden coaster. So I would love for them just to kind of maybe smooth this one out, give it a retrack, and then maybe like RMC with the steel 208 track with the Boss, so that way they can keep the really nice layout intact. But both of them could really use some love, because that was like borderline unbearable. Like that was one and done for me. I will not be partaking on the Scream and Eagle again today. just got off Boomerang, and shockingly, that was actually one of the more enjoyable Boomerang models that we've done on the trip, which is surprising because it was relocated, but overall, it was decent. It wasn't too bad. It ran a lot smoother than the one that we rode at Worlds of Fun, that's for sure. And it was enjoyable and intense. I think that they get a bad rap, but like overall, it wasn't too bad. Color me actually shocked. We just got off Ninja, and that was actually a really enjoyable ride. I was a little nervous with just how some of the other rides seem to be like upkept and things have been running really, really rough. And this is a very bizarre coaster because it is actually originally designed by Arrow, but they stopped the construction halfway through. I believe it's when they went bankrupt. I'll have to do some fact checking. But for some reason or another, they weren't able to finish the ride. And then Vekoma came in and finished the track work and finish up the ride. So I was definitely kind of expecting the worst, especially since I haven't been on it over 12 years. But it was actually like pretty decently okay. I mean, it wasn't glass smooth or butter smooth or anything like that, but it was definitely re-rideable. Like I would go on it again and I would probably enjoy it. So yeah, Ninja, above mediocre, I would say. Exceeded expectations. The park is closing, so that is going to do it for our day here at Six Flags St. Louis. Overall thoughts on the park? I forgot just how beautiful the park is. It's in a really, really nice setting. There are lots of hills, quite a bit of stairs, more than I really expected, so just keep that in mind. But overall, the park itself is really, really pretty, and the landscaping was quite nice. I do wish that they would keep up the park a little bit more in terms of the actual rides and attractions, especially the park's wooden coasters, because they both have fantastic layouts, especially the Boss. And I think that if they put a little bit of work into it, maybe invest in RMC's 208 track to kind of retrack some of the really, really rough areas, or maybe just go crazy, do the whole thing. I think you could have two really, really solid wooden coasters here at the park. And then what I would like to see at this park in the future, I think that putting in like a B&M hypercoaster, like the scale of Candemonium or Mako, I think that would be an excellent fit for the park and show that it's a really good park worth investing in to bring some more people, some more traffic into the park. But overall, we had a really solid day here at Six Flags. I'm glad we came. I'm also really glad, honestly, we're getting a little bit of an early evening. The park closes today at 7 p.m., so it's just around 7. So that means early night for the hotel and get some rest because, man, we are feeling that we have been to 18 theme parks in a row. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching all of the vlogs. I greatly do appreciate it. So stay tuned, subscribe if you guys want to see. Tomorrow is Park 19, where we head to Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana to check out The Voyage, Good Gravy, and a little bit of Splash and Safari as well. Like to help me fight the YouTube algorithm. Keep cruising and coasting. I'll see you guys in Santa Claus, Indiana at Holiday World. Bye.